Coming at
How's
you
it going,
live.
everybody? And welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, live stream Friday. As we do every Friday here, we come together, talk about the news, the latest in, I guess, the new coming golden age of America. We used to be talking about the fall of Western civilization, but now, the new coming golden age of America. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Liberty Swine. How you doing this week, sir?
Damn fine, man. Watching the show, enjoying the tears, bro.
Right. It's been a full on meltdown out there, man. I actually saw some people, just like two stoplights away from where I was at. They're all gathering up with their deport Elon Musk signs and shit like that, and is pretty hilarious. All the fucking weirdos with their purple hair and their fucking long hair, their fucking hippie braids and shit like that, and yeah, is good times, good times.
Yeah, man.
Wanted
You
to
gotta love
wanted
that
to
shit,
drive by 'em.
especially because it's not gonna go fucking anywhere.
Right. It was actually just right out there in front of that Tesla dealership too. That new one that they made right there on Oracle and
Yeah,
River, I think
River.
it is.
Yeah, hilarious, man.
Yeah, yeah, it's right in front of the new Tesla dealership. Fucking deport Elon. You can't spell felon without Elon.
You're like, dude, we've
That was a
stated
good
it
one.
1 billion
Yeah,
times. There's a difference between immigrants and illegal fucking aliens, man.
Right. They don't seem to understand that. They think, the whole undocumented and stuff like that. Like they're like, oh well, a European undocumented immigrant, once their visa is expires and they stay here, they're not getting deported. They get court dates and stuff like that. Well, it's because they're fucking documented. Because in order to have a visa that expired, you probably had to fucking submit some documents beforehand. Just we got to go get your paperwork through now. Luckily, I mean, either way, it's besides the point. But either way, they are in a way documented. They're just overstayed their visa. That's a civil thing, as opposed to undocumented invaders, as it were, just pouring in by the millions. And of course, the whole Joe Biden promised, you said that we're going to be able to come in and shit like that. Well, we were telling you the whole time that he's lying to you, so it's you guys' fault for believing him. Sorry,
Yeah, for sure. And then a
is
big
what it
difference
is.
is you got about a 90% chance of that European showing up for court to get his papers renewed. Whereas, we know there's about a
Right,
90% chance of not showing up to fucking your hearing if it's the other route, right?
right, yep. And yeah, it's also just the hypocrisy, man, of just we need these low income workers and shit like that. Like, okay, so you guys are gonna sit here and bitch about the fucking so-called gender pay gap that supposedly exists, where fucking women get paid less than men and shit like that, and what yada yada yada. But then over here, you're also going to advocate for people from foreign nations coming in and working for far lower wages than any American citizen, and you guys are going to advocate for that, right? That to you seems fair. If foreigners come and they work for fucking peanuts, that's fine. But no, there's a fucking 10-cent discrepancy in the fucking pay between men and women, not accounting for hours worked and what have you. But meanwhile, they're going to over here like, oh, but we need these immigrants to come over here and work for fucking pennies and be happy about it. Like in complete
Yeah.
hypocrisy.
Yeah. Take the jobs that Americans don't want, which means the pay's going to be shit. Number one. Two, they're illegal. So, they're not going to have a choice, take it or leave it. And then, it's that leftist racist mentality, man. The slaver mentality. Who's going to pick the cotton? Who's going to clean my shitter and pick my crops? You know what I mean?
Right. And then at the same time, a lot of these jobs too that they're talking about, that they're supposedly trying to talk about, laying concrete, building houses, doing drywall, all, laying tile, all that type of stuff. It's not that Americans don't want to do that job. They want to do it for actual decent livable wages, something that's comparable to the value that they're going to be putting out, right? And at the same time too, white people used to do these jobs until they started getting fucking tired of listening to fucking doom, 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 on every single job site, and fucking everybody's speaking Spanish, and well, all of a sudden now I'm the fucking outside guy, like now that's that. If there's any reason why they don't want to work those jobs, it's because again they will be completely alienated, fucking, I guess to take the buzzword from the left, discriminated against in the workforce, and it's not that they don't want to do those jobs. I'm sure plenty of red-blooded American men would love to build fucking houses for a living, or fucking lay concrete, or become a fucking master craftsman at something, right? It's so that's and really it's just the further diluting of just the American workforce. That it's not that Americans don't want to do them. It's just that they're being pushed out by people that are doing it for fucking peanuts and just taking over the entire culture.
Yeah, and then you got, a decent size of the population that is, basically just willing to accept it as if, that's normal and something that needs to be implemented across the country, rather than the detriment it actually is. And to touch back on what you said, I mean, that work is hard work, right? Doing drywall, building houses, you're out there in the elements, what have you,
Yep.
plenty of hours on your feet, yada yada. Yeah, you want to be able to live, and it's not like it's a position where you could work a second job, if you wanted to. If you work a construction job, chances are you're on, in the field 10 to 15 hours a day. You know what I mean? So it's like if you're going to
Right.
rely on a single job, obviously it's got to make it to the point to where you're going to be at least comfortable. And we all know that these builders just slap up these houses as fast as they can, as cheaply as they can, get a $500,000 for it. And they paid, 10 guys fucking $15 an hour, you know?
Right. Yep. It's the world that the Democrats are fighting to keep, right? Absolutely ridiculous, man. But so what we're actually going to be talking about today, I mean, besides immigration, we could always touch back on that. That's a constant issue here in America. But U.S. aid. That's of course the big news going on this week. U.S. aid. They officially tore down the fucking letters off of the building today. That bitch is gone. Of course, the lefties are having a full on meltdown about it. Because of course that's well, the majority of the lefties, on the current left, don't have a fucking clue what they're talking about. All they know is just Elon Musk bad because I heard it on the news. Donald Trump bad, Orange Man bad. Oh, Donald Trump, Orange Man, and Elon Man working together. That very bad. That's all that they know. So they're literally over here advocating for nation building. The thing that they advocate against all the fucking time, right? Where we go over there and we influence their culture with our culture, so that way we could Americanize the rest of the world. That's what US aid is, right? It's not US aid, it's United States Agency for International Development, right? So it's again, even down to their logo, everything is just a guise for highlighting this AID, but it's not aid as in help. It's a fucking acronym for American United States Agency for International Development. So yeah, fucking
Yeah, and they're just
complete
a
hypocrites. And then
subversive
the
tool.
people, right? Yep. And then of course the other people are just actual evil people that are profiting off of this, profiteering off of this.
Yeah. And what's good, Donnie, in the comments, man? Appreciate it. Good to see you, bro. Appreciate you coming by. And dude, USAD ID has been absolutely just a slush fund for the CIA. It's ways to topple adversarial governments and ways to move around dark money. I mean, it's billions of dollars, and we're calling it dark just because it's not cataloged, it's not being used in fruitful manner as far as the American people are concerned. It's a hidden budget that's being passed around the planet, and it's basically the funding tool for the Smith Modernization Act and the Mockingbird Media, and that's exactly what all this is covered. Of course, Mike Benz, so on and so on.
Right. I mean, it's so much has been uncovered from everything that's been going on with the USAID since it's been gutted. I mean, down to even the funding of our own domestic news organizations such as Politico. Right. So I mean, that was
The New York Times,
just
yeah.
recently discovered that they were being funded. Right. New York Times, all these mainstream media propaganda wings, propagandist, uh, uh, news rags, they've been getting funded, as we've all suspected and probably known for quite some time, by USAID. And what was it also recently discovered that they are also somehow connected to the leak of the uh, Roe v. Wade overturning.
Yeah, Politico. Politico's the one that leaked that out,
Yeah,
and obviously we know where they were funded. So you paid for that, basically.
right. Yep. I mean, it's like we say, there's no way that the majority of this stuff was just organic and just all it's just what it happens. I don't know. I mean, this is just what the news agencies think. I mean, they all just happen to think verbatim the exact same things. That makes sense to me. I don't know what your guys' problem is, but yeah. But yeah, no, it's obviously it was always a propaganda operation, not just domestically, but abroad. Like I say, it's all over the fucking world. What was it like transgender fucking plays in Colombia or some shit like that? There's a list. I mean, we got a few of them, a few of the things, but yeah, fucking pottery classes in somewhere else. Fucking what was it?
Morocco
Atheism
and
training
yeah,
in fucking Tahiti. Yeah,
yeah, like what was it?
insane.
The homosexual plays in Ireland. You could just keep going, and then on top of that, they're funding foreign media as well. 9 out of 10 media sources in Ukraine are partially funded by USAID. You could just keep going, and it not so it's subversive around because they're using these third parties to censor you. Remember, Politico is one of the main so-called fact checkers that was used on social media to shut your fucking your platform down, to get you banned, get your post removed. I mean, and then you see like they also funded Nina Jankowicz, right, who was supposed to be the disinformation czar for Biden there until the public found out and put on enough pressure to where they said, we're not going to go through with this. Instead, they just moved her over to Britain and just kept paying for her, and she's doing the same job. Because every fact checker that you see, social media platforms or whatnot, are all from foreign entities. You know what I mean? Besides Politico, right? Other than that,
Yeah,
they're all like based in France and the UK, stuff like that. So I mean, it's a perfect fit, and to sidestep the First Amendment.
right. Yep. And then yeah, let me see if I could find the one from that she sent me from Politico. And there's actually there's a bunch. Well, what we'll do, I'll just go ahead and pull this up. We'll just go through these one by one and just kind of knock out what they are, just so that way we have some fucking receipts, and then we got a piece to talk about. This first one's about the Stanford endowment. 1.5 billion of taxpayer money went to the endowment. So go ahead and give us a bit of a breakdown. What is the Stanford endowment?
Obviously, the endowment fund is their main source of inner income, right? That's how they fund a different extravagance, different functions, give out scholarships, so on and so on. And again, your kid, you can't afford to send your kids to these Ivy League schools, but you're definitely funding others, which is absolute shit, right? I mean, you thought it was bad with Biden's debt forgiveness for students, but here's $1 billion that's been taken out of the American people's coffer and to prop up one of the most elitist fucking entities in the country.
Right. I think there's another one about Hillary Clinton's, or was it the Clintons?
Yeah,
One of
it
the
was
Clinton
shit that's
kids.
funneled through Haiti, with, their foundation, and, Chelsea
Yeah,
ended up walking off with, like, $83 million.
fucking score, man.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. Who needs trust funds, man? When you got the fucking United States taxpayer.
Yep, no one's above the law unless you're a
But let's
Democrat or
see,
one of their kids, man.
52. Right. Yeah, that was made very, very clear over the past decade at this point. But see, 52.2 million to the WEF in US aid. It's the Agency for International Development. Yeah,
Right, the World
50
Economic Forum.
outlaid amount 35.1, 52.2 obligated amount. right? World Economic Forum, the people, the fucking world bean counters, right? Allegedly, right? Honestly, what we know they do is they fucking try to rule the world.
Right.
Um,
Ultimately,
but
regardless if
yeah,
they're bean counters or
actually, I
not,
did just
these are
see.
some of the richest people on the planet, the elite of the elite, man. What does the World Economic need your money
Right,
for? And
that's
then
why I say
Klaus
it.
has been pretty open on his plans for society.
Right,
Are we on
but
a time delay
so
here? What
I
the
did
hell's
see
going
an
on?
article earlier to. I don't know. Well, it might be. I don't know. It could be all fucked up. Fucking technology's been fucking up on me this for some reason today, man. I don't know why. And we're getting checked and hacked by the China. But fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. I saw something today about the World Economic Forum. Basically, um, it was the World Economic Forum. I think it was the World Health Organization. Basically, just well, if America's not in, we're fucked. Like,
Yeah,
there's
they're already
nothing we could
talking
really
about
do from this
layoffs
point
and
if
shit.
America's not funding us.
Yeah,
Yep,
hilarious.
love to see it, man. You fucking love to see it. All right. Of course, the left are going to try and paint it out as like, oh, these people losing their jobs and their livelihoods and all this and that, and these people were CEOs and like these people were fucking robbing you blind and fucking doing it without lube for fucking generations. Like, fuck all these people.
Yeah,
Right.
and I saw leftists playing it off as, "Oh yeah, cut off the people that are trying to keep us healthy." Like these motherfuckers have been wrong about everything, and they're wannabe tyrants. They constantly try to push for more authority over sovereign countries.
Right. Yep. Again, like I said earlier, man, it's the whole thing that they pretend that they advocate against, right? Fucking cultural appropriation. Oh, they're trying to colonialize the rest of the world and all this and that. Fucking this is what funds it, and they're over here fucking save U.S. aid, right? It's
Right.
from the American people. This is this for the American people from the American people to other countries somehow. However that works, that's government math for you. But either way, it's for you out of your pockets, but we're giving it to other people. Yep, government math right there, guys. Let's see. The majority of U.S. assistance to Haiti said. Through USAID. Since 2010, USAID has dispersed at least 2.13 billion in contracts and grants for Haiti-related work. Overall, just 48.6 million has gone directly to Haitian organizations or firms, just over 2%. Comparatively, more than 1.2 billion has gone firm to located in DC, Maryland, or Virginia. More than 56%, as can be seen in Figure 1. The difference is even starker when looking just at contracts. 65% went to Beltway firms compared to 1.9% for Haitian firms. Right. So again, it's not just that we're using it to fund uh, basically foreign propaganda to go over there and culturally destroy these other nations to topple governments, but we're also using it as basically a money laundering scheme, or just a way to steal from the United States taxpayer and basically say that again, it's for your own good, right? At least one thing that I gotta admire about the fucking the ancient world, or like the fucking the world where they used to just fucking kick down your door and take your shit, is at least they were just kicking down your door and taking your shit, and you knew that that was just a bad guy. That's about all there is to it. This way, it's complete. It's the same thing, but with mind games included, and they're telling you that it's your fault. And this, if you should be lucky that we're taking your money from you. Matter of fact, you should feel bad and you should donate extra to us. Like these people are fucking insane, sick, sadistic people.
Absolutely, man. And now they just wear fucking scales and tell you, like you said, it's for your own good, it's for you, but you're bad, and it's good, it's happening, and the whole spiel, man. Everything contradicts. And all you see just by the little bit we've already looked at, that's they're busy just completely looting the joint while getting you to fight amongst yourselves, and look over here, it's bad guy. Ree! Meanwhile, he's stuffing his pockets behind his back. Man, I mean, it's clown show shit. Especially with the lights of old rat skin. I'm sure you've seen, and Elon Omar saying that not they're trying to tear down democracy, which they lost, through the fucking democratic process. And
Right.
then of course this is nobody voted for this. This is exactly what we voted for. Like Trump, campaigned on this, campaigned with Elon, the Doge thing, everything. And that was all part of the fucking spiel. That's exactly what the fuck we voted for. And these cats are just melting. Like they constantly talk about waste and helping the small people, but every time they're like, "Look, here's some fucking fraud. That's you got to kill the messenger."
Um, sorry, I missed the very last part about they killing the messenger. But sorry, freaking Donnie Lucero says, "How do you feel that Trump is a convicted felon yet and president yet? I can't even vote." Real quick, how do you feel about that? Right. So I'm assuming that you're a convicted felon. I'm a convicted felon too. Actually, uh, I could still vote though. Matter of fact, I could still own guns. I could still do everything. And I'm an actual convicted felon. Did time in prison as well. Um, there's ways to go about that, man. There's legal processes that you can do depending on what state you live in. Of course, some states are a bit more difficult to do it, but dude, there's ways that you can get your rights back, man. Like you don't have to continue, like you don't have to buy into the myth that like, oh, once you're a convicted felon, your life is over and all this and that type shit. Yeah, it's doable, man. Just look into it. You could get it done too. That's America. It's how we work.
Yeah, but on the topic, man, I mean, I honestly don't give two shits for the simple fact that we know that that was just political theater, fucking lawfare. You know what I mean? So banana republic tactics, and it'll probably be overturned in appeals. I mean, I would assume. I mean, it was a sham. I mean, they literally said, you know, this is a crime that would normally be a secondary, and so don't worry about the first crime. Like even if you think that it could have happened or not happened, or you come up with a different fucking theorem, like still find him guilty on this basically. And they made a show of it by waiting until he got into office to try to hurry up and look, he's convicted now. The old Juan Merchan, which conflict of interest, absolutely corrupt, fucking pos. His family's made millions of dollars off the Democratic Party, him being a donor as well. And you know sham.
It probably came through USAID.
Right. Act blue, probably,
Right.
really, I mean.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it, man. I mean, look at all the other shit that they fund. If they can, Joe Biden, former Secretary of State Anthony Blinken, engaged in last-minute spending spree before leaving office. In the last month of the Biden administration alone, Congress was notified of nearly 1.5 billion in foreign aid the State Department sent overseas. This includes 15.5 billion for organizations like the International Lesbian, Gay, Bisexual, Trans, and Intersex Association, and promoting radical social agenda at places like Zimbabwe, El Salvador, and Lebanon. 11.5 billion for gender programming throughout the State Department. 300 million for environmental resilience in Guatemala. The list goes on and on, dude. There's so much stuff. Just go to a random one. See 55,750 for a climate change presentation warning about the impact of climate change in Argentina to be led by female and LGBT journalists through the State Department. Like all this shit's fucking insane, right? I mean, in terms of what they fund. Do they fund so many different non-governmental organizations as well too, as I'm sure we're going to end up running into here in just a few. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt if some of that funding ended up somehow funneling to Act Blue as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it went through Democrat hands. That's why they're melting down. You know what I mean? And the only reason that their so-called constituents are with them is just they're fucking follow the leaders. And that's why you get the likes again of Jamie Ratskin out there rabble rousing, and Maxine Waters, going to the what is it, the Board of Education building and shit, trying to come in and harass the Doge staff. I mean, it's all
Right.
just a fucking show, and they just keep repeating the shit of democracy, which again, they lost, and no one voted for this. And again, we're having a good time. This is almost exactly what I voted for. I mean, there's a few things like we touched on last week that I don't agree with some of the things that Trump's put forth. Which one I'm sure we'll touch on here shortly. But overall, it's been a fucking real good couple weeks, man.
Right. Fucking winning. That's all you got to say about that.
Yeah, shocking oddity.
It's over 4 billion to right, exactly. See, over 4 billion to Haiti, but Haiti only got 2% of it. The rest went to firms in DC. We talked about that one a little bit already. See, where's the money gone? Echoes throughout the country. It remains unclear how exactly the billions of dollars that U.S. has spent on assistance to Haiti has been used, and whether this funding has had a sustainable impact. See, 217 million for Holocaust education, Holocaust memorials, documentaries, art, and remembrance. I mean that you could have expected that one already, but what else
There's
would they
not
be
enough of
spending their
those,
money
dude.
on? This one we touched on a little bit earlier, right? Exactly. Fucking what did they sent fucking what's his name, Kanye West to one just not too long ago, man. Fucking made him bow down, kiss the old burnt shoes and whatnot, like yep.
He was just
See,
earlier
then
posting saying he's a
most
Nazi on
messed up,
Truth.
yeah.
Yeah,
Fucking Kanye.
yeah, yeah.
That's
Salty
like
was even talking
that's
about
hilarious,
earlier, man.
man.
Yeah.
Right? There you go, man. You can't re-educate. He is what he is, man. If it wasn't for it, I wouldn't have this here podcast microphone that you guys are listening to me on. From what I've been told. But yeah, fucking 500,000 for efforts to expand atheism in Nepal. Pretty weird. All right, this is what the American people voted for, guys, right? And they want to talk about, oh, that nobody voted for Elon Musk, like, but we voted for a Doge. Like, we knew that Doge was coming way ahead of time. That's actually what brought a lot of people onto the MAGA train in the first place, was the fact that, oh, he's not playing this time. He's actually going to get in there and drain the swamp. And again, he's surpassed the majority of our expectations. A lot of us expected him to just go in there and just same old, same old. We're gonna get maybe 1, 2, or 3 of these things done over the next fucking 4 years, but he's gotten more done in the first 2 weeks than most presidents do over an entire 8-year term. I mean, it's
Hit the
incredible,
ground running
incredible to
and
watch the
running and
man
running.
work. Right? Exactly. But yeah, so I mean, as we're seeing, a lot of this stuff's going to be coming to an end. It's just really funny watching the left melt down over the end of it, right? Because of course, like we saw, all the people at the top, they're all recipients of this types of money, and then all the people at the bottom, they're just fucking idiots at this point. But back to the propaganda, right? So this was all just all. Maybe, I doubt it's even like a quarter of the stuff that they're sent to propagandize to the American people from the United States government through United States aid. And yeah, here's just a couple of the headlines. The right's fascism problem. Donald Trump not bothered by comparisons to Hitler. Trump knows what he's doing. The creator of Godwin's law says the Hitler comparison is apt. Civil rights groups say Trump's comments are reminiscent of Hitler. Right? Everything was Hitler. Right? And we know that there's a reason for all this. Of course, Operation Mockingbird, where they basically are going to send all the same information to all these media outlets, and they're basically going to repeat the lie. Right? That's how you get it to become the truth. And as we saw, it's I think, quite frankly, stuff like that could work to a point until things start to until the veil gets shattered just a little bit, and then from that point it's really just kind of a losing game for them as people slowly start to become more and more skeptical of them. They're going to get to more wacky things such as this, or everything that I don't like is Hitler, right? And of course, at this point, it's if you still behind the veil of the mainstream media right now, you're dumb. Like I'm sorry, man. You're not paying attention. Like, and if you are paying attention, and you're still just like, no, well, fucking, what is it, Brian? I forget anybody. Fucking Brian Stelter fucking told me so and so, so I believe him. He's a trustworthy guy. Like you're either fucking in your 80s or you're just fucking dumb. Like it's about all there is to it.
Yeah, pretty much, man. And again, you just got to keep reminding people like this is, all none of this has come to fruition. It's all fucking straight propaganda, like you said. It's counterintelligence shit. Basically, it's private counterintelligence firms being paid out of your pocket. I like to keep stressing that point. You paid for this,
Right.
man. Not only did you not vote
Yeah.
for it, you paid
Yeah.
for it.
Talk about taxation without representation. 1 billion Gretas. Biden admin pledges taxpayer cash to support young climate activists abroad. U.S. aid effort also includes calls to address climate change, climate related mental health conditions. Those are fucking running rampant, right? I mean, if anything, the only thing I'm fine, take my fucking money to get rid of to help with this climate related mental illness, and we'll build some fucking institutions. We'll house these people forever, right? They'll live in a perfectly secure little fucking box where they don't have to worry about any fucking rain or anything coming to tear them down or what the fuck ever, right? They don't have to worry about big oil polluting their air. Matter of fact, we could put them on a fucking island somewhere. They're miles from anything, right? I'll support that with my tax dollars, but all this stuff that they call mental health right now, it's really just exacerbating the problem at a drastic rate. Of course, we talked about last week, not last week, the previous week, because we were also not here last week, but the previous week about how basically this whole Marxist mentality, from each according to their abilities, to each according to their needs, it creates a society where people, oh, I'm mentally unwell, like, and that's a badge of honor now. That means you get extra fucking dinner. It means you get extra fucking cookies in your lunch bag now, right? So you're special now that you have a mental disability. um but at the same time, to each according, or from each according to their abilities, right? That also requires you to, again, oh, I can't do it. I'm unwell. That's why I can't go to work today. That's why I can't work 8 hours. It's complete fucking insanity to think that somebody should have to work 8 hours a day. Like I can't mentally handle it. That's why that's the type of society that this eventually ends up breeding. All right. Or that really it breeds this type of society in the first place, which causes people to end up buying into the whole fucking socialism and communism thing, which eventually we know how that always ends up going. All these people end up being the first people sent to the gulags or fucking wiped out. And yeah, that's just the way that goes. But not happening here. not in America. Not today, motherfuckers.
It's
Yeah,
starved
we
out, dude, and like
democracy came through.
yeah, and you got these same cats that are fighting to protect this and that were in on these situations are now the ones that are like, Elon's got fucking 20-year-olds working for him. You know what I mean? That's terrible. And they want to push young climate activists abroad while also wanting to lower the voting age here to 16. I mean that lets you know that they know you're a fucking moron. They don't want you to have any type of control or authority. They want you to, just be able to be propagandized and vote how they need you or want you to.
Right. Yep, that's the name of the game, man. It's brainwashing. They don't actually have good ideas to put forth anymore. I mean, their bottom line is power, right? Their bottom line isn't, a better world. Their bottom line isn't helping the people. They're basically narcissistic control freaks. That's their underlying driving motivation, and what they're after is power. That's it, plain and simple. So I mean,
Yeah, and the shtick's
yep,
getting old, dude.
they
Everyone
would rather legislate more voters.
The shtick's getting old, dude. It's always Russia Russ's, Hatler's, the sky's falling, and you know what I'm saying? I mean, and you see that all over right now, not only with the cats protesting outside, but even in the confirmation hearings. It's just fucking leftist chicks losing their fucking mind. You know what I mean? For their little 5 minutes of show. And they want to keep trying to put up that worth fighting for uses like you lost. Like, what the fuck are you fighting for? You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I mean, the
Right.
same people that scream democracy, as usual, I've said it a million times, are the ones that try the hardest to fucking, subvert it.
Right. Yeah. Fucking is fucking hilarious. That Chuck Schumer fucking we will win, we will win, we will win. Like, motherfucker, you guys lost already. Like,
Right?
we won't rest, we won't rest. Like,
No one else is doing it and
that's
shit.
bad, man. That's
It's a
that's
little awkward, pal.
desperation.
Right.
Right, right. Maxine Waters is over there. Right.
Waving fucking
Fucking
James Brown's
Democrats, man.
wig around and shit.
Like I said, right. Yeah, like I said, they've just become the party of narcissists and control freaks, and that's all it's all that it is. They just want more power. They don't give a shit about the people. They would rather legislate in new voters than actually fix problems to actually get people to want to vote for them. They would rather import people and legislate them to have citizenship, so that way they could vote to keep them in power rather than actually fixing any of the fucking problems, right? Or they'd rather lower the voting age so that way they could get young impressionable people to vote for them rather than actually fixing anything to make people actually want to vote for them, right? It's just, oh, we'll give you fucking breadcrumbs and you give us everything. And that's the way that they've worked for quite some time. It's basically just the Marxist platform.
Yeah, and you got red states on the East Coast still suffering, cold as shit. People living in tents still. You know what I mean? You got the situation in California, liberals crying, "What? You don't want to help peoples in California?" Says, like, absolutely not. Like, people in California are the types that are fucking in on this whole
Right.
situation and running the game for years, man. And until people that have been suffering for quite a bit longer than you fucking get the help they need, fuck right off and die. You got what you voted for, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? And this kind of shit right here being pointed out and cut the fuck out, that's what we voted for, son. You know?
Right. Yep, that's what the majority of the American people voted for. That's what that's democracy in action, as you guys like to call it, right? Popular mandate. You won the fucking popular vote. You won the fucking electoral college. You won the House. You won the Senate. He won everything. Like that's what you guys are talking about. Fucking this is how democracy works. Like, okay, this is how democracy works. You guys fucking lose, and then you take to the streets and block traffic and scream at people and break windows and fucking destroy buildings and fucking destroy people's businesses and livelihoods. This is how democracy works in your fucking mindset. Like, you people are insane, fucking narcissistic control freaks.
Sociopathic, reptilian, fuck.
Right. Let's see. Remember when Politico leaked the Dobbs decision and conservative Supreme Court justices were almost assassinated? Turns out that was government funded. Wouldn't you know? Right? Wouldn't you know it? Of course, we were just talking about this just a little bit earlier. Of course, we all remember when the left had a complete fucking meltdown over the decision that was leaked. And of course, we never did find the leaker, right? That was never a thing. At least I never fucking heard about it. But yeah, so yeah, the people took to the streets. What was it? Fucking, there's people outside Justice Kavanaugh's house, but fucking one person was caught with a gun and I believe some sort of explosives in his backpack, some
Yeah,
shit like that.
yeah, like multiple weapons,
Yeah,
explosives.
crazy shit. Yeah, yeah, fucking, and now we know that was funded by the fucking government.
You. That was
Well,
funded
of
by
course,
you.
obviously, it was leaked from within the government, but it was funded. Right,
By
right,
you.
funded by you.
Yeah, keep putting that
Yep.
out there, man.
You
They
guys
keep
voted for
talking
this.
about the national debt. It's 300,000 per person. Every time, someone has a child, that child's already $300,000 in debt, right? I mean, this is where the shit's gone. And of course,
Yep.
like the shit that they've, scratched the surface on, isn't the trillions, but I mean, they've been in office for 2 weeks, man.
Right. Right. Yeah, faking it's funny. Are you watching the left? Like, well, then why are egg prices so high? Donald Trump's in office now; they're so high. Like, he's been in there for 2 fucking weeks, dude. Like, kind of got a little bit bigger fucking fish to fry right now. A lot of that stuff is going to end up working out after we get a lot of the major spending, right? The fucking bird flu vaccines and shit like that, fucking bird flu that just came through is not the reason that egg prices are so high. It's not the reason that our everything is so fucking high. It's because of the fact that we have way too much fucking debt and fucking fiat fucking currency just flowing out there in the damn world right now. Everything is basically run off of debt and all that we do whenever we get to the top of our debt is we just increase the amount of debt that we can make, and that in turn, of course, raises the prices as the demand skyrockets, seeing as there's much more bills chasing after fewer goods. Um, yeah, that's really kind of what the issue is. It's not necessarily that not because Donald Trump's shutting down fucking bird flu vaccination mandates or whatever the fuck poultry fucking mandates and fucking hyper regulations and shit like that. It's because of everything else. It's because the fucking billions of dollars that people are pocketing through these organizations like USAID, right?
And not
Fucking
to mention, before
yeah,
Biden
again,
left office, the
results
head
are
of
what's
his
going to matter,
FDA, right, the head of his FDA ordered hundreds of thousands of chickens killed because supposedly there was 62 cases of bird
right?
flu in the country, and it turned out to actually only be one, was someone that didn't work on a farm and didn't get it from a chicken, had dead birds on his property. And if you notice, why is it always only fucking chickens and pigs that suddenly get bird flu and have to be cold? I mean, they're not killing owls or fucking, doves or, you know what I mean, quails. It's only your chickens. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
if you cook it,
Should Right. Yeah. I mean, shit, Lord knows they ain't doing shit to take care of fucking pigeon problems all over the damn fucking country. They're definitely not taking care of, any, like you're saying, owls, fucking shit like that. They're, it's really just anything that is profitable, anything that's farmable, anything that we can dip our little fingers into that's actually going to have anything to do with money, right? If it's just fucking saving buildings and shit like that, actually you guys spending money to get those buildings repaired actually helps us make money as well too. So in which case it's not necessarily helpful for us to worry about things like fucking pigeons and doves and all these other common birds that everybody has to deal with. We're just gonna go ahead and kill off all of the fucking chickens and livestock and shit like that.
massive portion of the country's diet, man. I mean, that's we're big on beef and chicken, man. I mean, obviously we eat a lot of pork too, but it doesn't even compare. And with all the plants that have blown up and burned down, and you know what I mean, the left has been on an insane fucking war against farmers across the West for some years now because climbs it.
Right. Yep, it's all for the greater good. Mother Gaia. uh, Hey, some other USAID spending. Sean Penn was paid $5 million to take these photos with Zelensky. Orlando Bloom was paid $8 million by USA to take these photos with Zelensky, and Angelina Jolie was paid $20 million by USA to take these photos with. Oh, we don't have the photos, but with Ukrainian Churins. Again, just more government paid propagandists. These are the same types of people that are over here bitching about fucking um of course anything having to do with Donald Trump. At the same time, wasn't Sean Penn the fucking person that went over and uh like was talking all kinds of shit about the fucking cartels and about fucking Chapo Guzman and shit like that. But when somebody actually gets in office and wants to do something about it, namely name these organizations, these fucking people that murder millions and millions of people, you know, as terrorist organizations. Oh, all of a sudden, oh no, he's just a fucking dictator and he's a Nazi and all this and that. It's all fucking bullshit. These people are just paid fucking actors. Obviously, they're paid actors, but I mean, in terms of propagandists, they're also paid actors. That's literally all that they do.
Yeah, and the real dictator is in those fucking photos. I mean, what makes one a dictator? And if you actually look into it, for the slightest, Zelensky meets all points, man. I mean, that's a real dictator suspending,
Right.
an election, elections, cracking down on, religious shit, cultural stuff. I mean, you could just keep going. I mean, the dude is, for real, paid actor, but a dictator.
Right. Yep. Freaking whole bunch of actors in all these photos.
Right, the time lapse is
Everybody's an actor
fucking
in
me
all
up,
these
dude.
photos. Right. Let's see. Our funding BBC Media Actions Group team continues to deliver impact around the world in constant change. Fundraising remains challenging in an environment of shrinking overseas development aid. Consequently, the second half of 2023 2024 BBC Media Action made improving our financial health a major organizational priority. Our response to plan approved by our trustees in May 2024 include investing in our building our sources of unrestricted funding and exploring more flexible sources of funding from our largest donors. We are grateful to all our donors who make our work possible. Together, our donors funded our work to the value of 25.2 million zeros. Let's see, as of March 31st, 2024, we had 107 um, active projects around the world, institutions, blah, blah, blah. Institution funders remain our largest source of support in 2023 2024. Our main donors included UK FCDO, USAID, and SIDA. I'm not sure if it's SIDA, among many others. So,
Why are we
yeah,
funding the
also
BBC,
funding
man?
fucking British broadcast media.
Right. And again,
Right.
regardless
Doesn't
of
make any sense.
these people
It's a,
being called allies, the UK is an adversarial country, for real. I mean, they literally sent state
right.
representatives to campaign against Trump and shit, interfering in our elections. I mean, and trying to ban and fine American companies. I mean, they're an adversarial country. Fuck right off with that.
Right. Yep. I've been actually saying that for fucking months now, man. I used to have like, yeah, the UK's all right, man. Fucking punk rock, bro. You know, but yeah, not anymore. That's definitely not them no more, man. Fucking yeah, now they're all about censorship. I mean, people get arrested for fucking their online social media presence. Yeah, not only do they not have free speech, they have fucking uh decent, online harassment laws and shit like that, to where like I said, they're actually showing up at people's fucking houses to get 13-year-olds who said naughty words on fucking Call of Duty. These people are absolutely fucking insane. These people are nothing like any of us really in the West, right? For the most part, the majority of Europe is nothing like we are in America. I mean, the concept of freedom really does kind of only I guess permeate our inner milieu here. You know, used to back in Europe, but yep, that ship has long since sailed. So yeah, they
And
really are.
that's where
They're
that
not
spirit came from, man. I mean,
our
our
allies.
yeah, our founders were English, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? That's where the Magna Carta came from. I mean,
Yep.
that's a lot of the ideas that were put into the fucking Constitution, stem from this place and how far it's fallen. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they got fucking child grooming and grape gangs. Can't say the real words is on the juice tubes, right? But you know, and they, like you just stated, I mean, they, plainly state that their biggest threat interior wise is homegrown terrorisms by people that are playing video games and sharing memes, you know what I'm saying, rather than the obvious to the rest of the fucking known planet, dude,
Right. Right. The people that are fucking over here, grooming and molesting children, and fucking their cousins back home are chopping off fucking news reporters' heads and shit like that. you know, it's might be those people rather than the guy that called somebody a faggot on Call of Duty. I think there's a little bit of a difference in priority on who the government should be investigating. In that situation there.
Yeah, and the whole forced diversity concept is increasing tensions between races. I mean, they constantly talk about harmonies and we're all equals and whatnot. Leftist drivel, but this is radicalizing people more than they know, and that's why they're saying homegrown, because then anyone that's pushed to their breaking point, it's going to be you're going to be labeled as a racist extremesy, and you're going to have to fucking be off to the gulags, dude.
Right. You're gonna need to get that re-education going now. Get the Kanye treatment. All right. So this one, I believe it's the next slide over that explains that one. Let's see. So now it's the Lutheran faith. This is the use of religion as money laundering operation must end. Lutheran family services and affiliated organizations receive massive amounts of taxpayer dollars, and the numbers speak for themselves. These funds total billions of Americans. These funds total billions of Americans show more. But anyway, it's yeah, Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service. That seems to be the most constant one in here. It's the Lutheran Family Services in the Carolinas and Nebraska, as well as Lutheran Social Services, Central Ohio, Columbia Lutheran Charities, Lutheran Community Services Northwest, Allegheny Lutheran Social Ministries. Yep, let's see, Lutheran Social Services of South Dakota,
Yeah, so not only are these
South in
places,
general.
totally
Um,
infiltrated with fucking the leftist rainbow mind virus, dude, but they'll also have you pay for your fucking
mm,
replacement so they can launder some shit on the side. You know what I mean? And get, child slaves and free shit. The
right.
rain over the ashes fucking
Yep.
concept, dude, is real. That's what
Everything's
these people do. Right, dude. The
yeah.
time lag
Yep.
fucking
It's
killing
it's
me, son.
it's a fucking it's yeah. I know. Let me try refreshing this real quick. See if it's all right. How we looking? We still got a delay over there.
Way over there.
All right. Oh, if it's still going, we might just I guess just have the delay. I guess I said
Mm.
fucking China, man. They're hacking my computer systems and getting into my mainframes, cropping my fucking streams here, bro. I was kidding. Obviously, if you guys don't know, I'm pretty computer illiterate, man. So, uh, but let's see. Yeah, that's the Lutheran faith. Let's see. Good. A nation that is $36 trillion in debt should not be handing out its citizens' tax money to foreign nations, while many of those same citizens can't afford housing. See, Trump moves to wrest control of USA, as Musk says, we're shutting it down. In the latest action, two top security officials at the independent agency were removed after they refused access to restricted spaces to Elon Musk's representatives. Musk said early Monday he's in the process of closing the agency. So, in terms of Musk's crew, but what's your thoughts on that, man? Because apparently it's just a bunch of like fucking guys in their early 20s and shit like that. Apparently, from what all the
Apparently,
reporting
it's a
is,
bunch
it's
of
a bunch of
fucking
guys in their early 20s,
yeah, ADHD kids that
ridiculous
are
super
like
geniuses.
insanely geniuses. Yeah, and this right here, the one thing I like to throw out too about the you said is you know you got these leftists running around like this is illegal. This is an act of was an act of Congress. The USAID was implemented by executive order from JFK. Man, you know what I'm saying? So we just saw when
Right.
Biden came into office, presidents can undo executive orders as well as rolling them out, man. And so basically that's what this is. And you just had a judge. I don't know if you've seen earlier today step in and put like a temporary stay on the whole firing of the staff like didn't do it completely. It was like a restricted one, but it was they let go like 8,000 or something, but they made them retain a little over 2,000. But I mean, supposedly it's temporary, and it's a fucking Trump appointed judge. So, we'll see how that goes because,
Yeah.
again, this was invented by the wisp of a pen, you know? And I think it's great you're bringing in younger people that have brains, man.
Right.
I mean, it's good to see some geniuses come in. This country was
Yeah.
founded and staked out by 20 and 30-year olds, and there's not a damn thing wrong. I mean, if someone has a high intellect and is good with numbers and using like AI to comb through the shit, fuck, dude, roll it. Because I mean, obviously, you or I can't do that
Right.
shit, man.
And at the same time,
AI is like you talk to it, make fucking art.
right. Right. If I can, at the same time, um, wasn't Kamala's campaign staff like 24, some shit like that, something like that. Fucking, they're all brat, something like that. I mean, wasn't that the angle that the Democrats were going for, like just like 3 weeks ago, something like all of a sudden, like no, they're too young, like. All of a sudden, they just want fucking people that are, boomers, but not too boomers. But at the same time, Joe Biden's just right. But at the same time, we want somebody that's young, but not too young. But at the same time, you can't be too old. If you have gray hair, then we don't know. We don't like you. If you're a white man, we don't like you. If you're a brown person, then we it doesn't matter. You're in right away. Like, the Democrats are
Also, we want to lower the
they
voting
really have
age
no
to 18.
actual direction, and it's right, right, right. Absolutely fucking ridiculous, man. It's just they wherever the wind blows them, that's where they go. Whatever's the popular thing of the day. And another thing that we actually pointed out quite some time ago was that they're so ideologically locked into anything Donald Trump says is bad that we're seeing stuff like this. That Donald Trump says USAID is bad, and they fucking the stuff that they do is bad. It's propaganda. It's evil, and we got to shut it down. And all of a sudden, now no, we need our fucking world propaganda. Like, oh, whoa, oh no, like what do you mean we can't topple governments around the world anymore? Like, how else are we going to implement our American way of lives on the foreign countries and shit like that? Like, oh no, this is so, it's like literally like I say, anything that Donald Trump says, they are bound to be the opposition for. It doesn't matter. Donald Trump could say that fucking uh, I don't know, fucking puppies are good. If Donald Trump could say fucking we need clean air, and the fucking lefties will come out like, no, we need fucking gas guzzling vehicles and hard machinery that's gonna fucking pump gas into the air. Like it doesn't matter. Literally anything Donald Trump says, they will come out completely opposed to. So
You
they're
literally
locked
have
in
these
a battle of lack of wits.
Yeah, you literally have these cats all posted on Blue Skies, like, how do you fluoridate water and shit? Like JFK says he's gonna take the fluoride out of the water, and one cat's like, I hooked up a toothpaste fucking tube up to my water dispenser. It's minty and it's got a whole bunch of fluorides. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It says right on the toothpaste, don't fucking swallow it, you fucking moron. You know what I mean? I mean, dude, they're absolutely insane. Like you
Right.
said, I mean, Donald Trump's like, I love Diet Coke, man. They're like, he fucking hates water. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right, man. These people are just they're insane. It's like I say, they're locked into an ideology, and it's like I say, at this point, if you're still on the side of the Democrats, you're either old and you don't know anything beyond fucking CNN and MSNBC, cannot comprehend anything beyond CNN or MSNBC, or you're fucking like 16 years old and fucking your dad left you when you were like 7 or something like that. Those are the only two fucking things that that would cause you to be a Democrat at this point right now.
Yeah, fucking severe brain damage. That is a severe behavioral disorder. Yeah, man, fucking absolutely hilarious shit, man. This clown world.
Right. See, Elon Musk says the corrupt politicians protesting outside the USAID building are the ones getting money from USAID. That's why they're there. They want your stolen tax dollars. That's it's eloquently simple, but straight to the point. And that's
Yeah.
exactly what it is. It's just they're out there fucking trying to protect their fucking their ATM. That's all that it is, man. And they're
What do
out
you
there fucking
mean you
trying to
want to
protect their cash
fucking?
cow. Like I said,
What,
they're
what do you mean you want to save our tax dollars? Fascism.
right. It's fucking fascism, man. These people are fucking lost their minds. But yeah, like I said, they're so ideologically opposed to anything that Donald Trump says that it's literally at this point like, no, we need to be wasting our tax dollars, man. Um, yeah, fucking hilarity. See, USAID staffers told to stay home after Musk said Trump agreed to shutter it. All right, so of course, like I said, they tore the fucking signs off the building today, man. That bitch is gone. Fuck all those people. Right. So Obama's mother, Stanley Ann Dunham, consultant on international development at USAID from 1979 to 1980.
It's like a huge
From
leg,
1988 to
man.
1992, she was a research coordinator. Right. Fucking. From 1988 to 1992, she was a research coordinator, a consultant to the bank Rakyat, Indonesia, under 3 separate contracts funded by the World Bank and USAID in microfinance. 17th administrator for USAID, Gail Smith, has also worked the World Bank as a consultant from 2005 to 2007. Smith was chairman of the working group chair on global poverty for the Clinton Global Initiative. See, we also have the 16th administrator for USAID, Rajiv Saha, is the current president of the Rockefeller Foundation. Shar, let's call him Cher, has served in numerous leadership roles with the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. He was also responsible for developing the International Finance Facility for Immunization, which raised more than $5 billion for the Global Alliance for Vaccines and Immunization, otherwise known as Gavi.
It's almost like they're all
The 16th,
connected.
this I believe up there, 15th administrator for USAID, Henriette. Right, and you would. It's almost like they all have the same puppet master at the end of the day, right? But let's see. That's Henriette Foray was executive director of UNICEF, United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, from 2018 to 2022, where she collaborated with Gavi. She is a board member for Global Preparedness Monitoring Board, co-convened by the World Bank Group and WHO. So again, this stuff goes deep, man. This getting rid of USAID really puts a fucking wrench in their gears. It's really, really fucking pissing in their Cheerios this morning. All right. Let's see. Mike Ben says, why USAID actively instructing media organizations around the world to agree policies on strategic silence to all collectively censor social media narratives. And we got this blown up right here. For internal use only, right? Not for your eyes, guys. Let's see. What could media organizations do? They can collaborate for one. They could also agree policies on strategic alliance. How could technology companies? What could technology companies do? They could eliminate financial incentives. How could national governments? What can national governments do? They could regulate ad networks. All right. There's a whole bunch of other stuff on here too as well, but of course, again, just furthering the funding of censorship by the United States government on its own people, all in the name of saving people from mis and disinformation, building fact checking moderation tools and shit like that. So one of those fact checkings was, of course, the fucking Hunter Biden laptop story being a Russian, right? So let's see. Hunter Biden story is Russian disinfo, dozens of former intel officers say. And of course, it shows USAID spending. They sent $8.1 billion to Politico from 236 transactions. So Yeah, there's that. I'm
Right, and the
sure it
way
was all just, you know, fucking they're paying for lunch. That's all. Installing
what
tampons in the men's restroom. That's all that it was for.
one of the ways they're trying to explain this away is saying that the people that the government's purchasing fucking tons of premium packages from Politico, as if Politico has something that you can subscribe for fucking $1,000 a month, or whatever the case. And like, why, in what way would they provide something that's worth that amount of money to the American taxpayer alone, but I mean, for a subscription package. So it lets you know that, if this is even close to the case, that they're not really, a news site. I mean, like I said, it's counterintelligence shit.
Right. Fucking government funded propaganda. The narrative machine. See, the list goes on and on. As you guys can see down here, we got quite a few of these. We're already almost an hour into this fucking. See, 3.9 million for LGBTQ causes in the Western Balkans, 5.5 billion for LGBT activism in Uganda, right? In you fucking Uganda, right? Just so you guys know, Uganda is the place where all these fucking great, excellent videos come out. Dude, I fucking love the fucking government meetings on homosexuality in Uganda, or they're talking about and then they eat the poo poo. Like that's where those videos come from. It's from
Why
fucking
are you
Uganda.
gay?
Those
Gay.
people
Gay.
hate the fucking gay community. Right? Why are you so? Why are you gay? Right? That's where all of these videos come from. So we spent 5.5 million for LGBTQ activism in Uganda. Fucking insane. 6 million for advancing LGBT issues in priority countries around the world. Again, pretty vague term. Priority countries around the world. 6.3 million for men who have sex with men in South Africa. Interesting. Interesting. Again, like I said, this I'm sure you could have an entire fucking 5-hour show of just going through all of the fucking government spending that has been funneled through this organization, USAID. And yeah, it'll just be endless entertainment all day. It'd be quite sickening when you realize, again, as we have to constantly reiterate, this is your money. It's your tax dollars. You funded all of this and voted for none of it.
Yeah, I don't even want my tax dollars going to rebuild
It's either
California, let alone fucking, money for cats that have sex with men in Africa.
right. Yeah, I do not want to pay for other men to eat the poo poo. Okay, I'm not paying for that. No, 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 not in my country. Not my dollars. See, this is the biggest scandal in news media history. No employee at Politico got paid yesterday. First time ever the company missed a pay period. This is a crisis. Now we learn Politico, a news company which spent the last 10 years trying to destroy the MAGA movement, was was being massively funded by USAID. Trump and Elon deleted their funding. Now Politico will go out of business. The corruption is endless. Good fucking riddance, you guys.
Smell you later.
And like we say, if in media organizations not capable of standing on their own, they should fall. That's basically the way that it works. That's the way that capitalism works, right? That's the way that a free society works, right? If you're not capable of standing up on your own, if you're not able to make it on your own, and again, a lot of this in terms of the media, it has to do with truth. If you're uh, basically the way that the value of your uh, product comes from truth. It comes from credibility. It comes from people being able to trust you. So in terms of them spreading propaganda, government funded, that's literally the only thing that you can do at that point, right? You're not going to get your credibility back. People aren't going to trust you again. If you're not funded by this government organization, you're going to collapse. And that's the way that it should be, right? Good fucking riddance to them.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mike Benz says USAID literally set up fake AIDS prevention workshops to topple foreign governments. Beginning as early as October 2009, a project overseen by the U.S. Agency for International Development sent Venezuelan, Costa Rican, and Peruvian young people to Cuba in hopes of ginning up rebellion. The travelers worked undercover, often posing as tourists, and traveled around the island, scouting for people they could turn into political activists. In one case, workers formed an HIV prevention workshop that memos called the perfect excuse for the program's political goals, a gambit that could undermine America's efforts to improve health globally. All right, again, like it's not just like things like health concerns or healthcare and shit like that. It's the same thing with climate change. It's the same thing with these civil rights or fucking all all this shit that we fund around the world through these such organizations. It's all a scam. It's all just a perfect excuse for the program's political goals, right? That's all that this shit is. And we've been talking about. I mean, of course, not this show. We've been talking about it since we've been on. But I mean, people like Alex Jones, fucking Mark Dice, all these people have been telling you about this for years and years and years. And like I said, all of it's coming to light. Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Doge, all these people are again, like we've talked about quite often. The best disinfectant is going to be sunlight. It's going to be the truth, and they're bringing that here. And again, the people are all melting down and shit like that. But ultimately, this is going to course correct. Yeah, the corruption that has been going on in the American government for generations.
Not to mention it ties directly into current situations here in the country, right? I mean, this lets you know here that this is a literal a regime change apparatus, and saying it's ginning up rebellion. I mean, that's what it was used for. Even though even the homosexuality aspects, they're trying to encourage that in countries where it's not tolerated. You know what I mean? Again, it's just so in rebellion, like it says right there again, and that's exactly what they did. Think about it: 26 agents or assets that we know of with the FBI on J6, right? And we saw from videos that were released through Tucker, where they were coaxing the crowd by shooting flash grenades and whatnot into a basically peaceful crowd. And when you got them all surrounded, what's going to happen? Those weapons are used for defense, not for offense. And
Right.
it just shows you they just try to do the same thing here. I mean, basically, well, they did. They got away with it for 4 years, just so they could put the destruction into hyperdrive. Hence, Biden and his nonstop, orders and DEI directives and whatnot. And again, like you just said, you paid for it. I mean, you're paying to destroy governments around the planet.
Right.
The people that scream democracy and insurrections are off destroying democracy and performing fucking insurrections.
Right. Yep. And it's like I say, hopefully this is going to come to an end with like I say, this regime change. I think the ultimate thing that's going to matter is results, man. Yeah, once all this these executive orders start to come to fruition, once we start to see things becoming going back to normal, or a new normalization, I think we'll be smooth sailing from there, as long as the Democrats stay the course of being absolutely insane, unhinged. I think that this is, I think that the scales have tilted in our favor for quite some time now, And again, like I said, the whole litmus test is going to be, as long as we get good results from this, as long as we get positive results from this. Um, Again, that's all that's going to matter. Don't give a shit who cries. Don't give a shit whose funding gets cut off. Who's what $1 million CEO's livelihood gets destroyed. Who's going to have to fucking sell their daughter's Bentley that they didn't even fucking want in the first place and weren't grateful for either anyway. I don't give a shit about none of that. Right. All I care about is the results and getting back to a moral, just society, a fair society, not necessarily equitable as the left try to say, but nonetheless free and fair. That's what I'm worried about getting back to. And I believe that, of course, once we get back to that, America will become the greatness that it was once again. But this stuff like this it's really just a first step, and I'm sure there's going to be many more to come that we're going to be talking about quite often on this show here in the future.
Yeah, I mean, in the whole, America's the terrorist and shit. As much as anyone, especially pro-Americans, don't want to think that way. I mean, it's proofs in the pudding, man. And like this current photo you just brought up, a prime example, right? Everybody in the old Che holding up the
Right.
fist, fucking mask on, and look what it says above the damn door.
Right. How'd that get there? See, Feds, U.S. taxpayer funding helping irrigate, fertilize Afghan opium, funding the Taliban. And I mean, we're not just funding them with, we're, funding them financially. We're also funding them militarily. We also left all kinds of military equipment, helicopters, tanks, what have you, for them to just have. Right. Even though we allegedly won.
To make the opiates that's killing our kids and
See, Washington.
causing drug war. Good times. Have a beautiful time.
Right. Right. Like, I mean, if anything, the shit, I'm sure why isn't China and them fucking having it out yet, man? Fucking if we're getting all this fentanyl from fucking China, why the fuck are we gonna buy the fucking Afghan opium anymore, right? I'm just kidding. But you would figure there'd be some sort of conflict right there. You'd figure they'd get into, something, and somebody would have to hurt somebody's market, either that or just America's drug problem is fucking beyond is insatiable. I mean, which could be a possibility as well too. But yep, I would have to imagine that the Chinese sending all the precursor chemicals to make fentanyl would have to mess up the world opium trade in some way.
Yeah, I'm sure it's costing the old jihadists real well. What's up, same millennial? Amen. All right. Good to see you, bud.
All
Thanks for
right,
coming by.
welcome to the show. Let's see, Washington D.C. American taxpayer money has funded irrigation canals, farming equipment, and even fertilizers used to support the unprecedented poppy cultivation and heroin production in Afghanistan, mainly benefiting Taliban narco jihadists, U.S. officials found. Yep, fucking all
Narco
this drug
jihadists.
money just funding terrorist organizations around the world, right? Narco jihadists, fucking, it's a
Right.
great term, man. Yeah, I mean that really is kind of what they are. Fucking narco jihadists, man. But we also have some newfound narco jihadists, as Donald Trump has officially designated the foreign cartels, the foreign cartels from our southern border as terrorist organizations. So again, just more terrorist organizations fueled by drug money. And that hopefully we'll be putting an end to very soon. Actually, one thing that I've been kind of thinking about just recently, man, is remember, back when Donald Trump was talking talking about how he respects Xi Jinping, and how they have their policy over there. If anybody's caught with drugs, it's quick trial, right? That was his whole thing before. And what if he pulls a straight fucking gangster move and turns around and says the same thing to fucking Xi Jinping himself. Like, you know what? You've been sending all of this fentanyl through our southern border to our country. You are the supplier. And so therefore, we're going to eliminate that quick trial style. Like, what if he turns it around like that? Like, I admire the way that you handle the drug dealers in your country. We're going to do the same thing around the world, starting with you. Like,
And
that'd be some
I mean,
gangster
that'd be
shit, man.
great,
That'd be some
right? It would be,
badass
but at
shit.
the same time, man, I don't know if you've seen their accomplishments in the last 30 days, but and I'm pro-America, obviously, man, strong, but that's not a country we want to fuck with. We're kind of in a transition mode right now. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
we're pretty depleted because of the Joe Biden admin. So
All right. But I mean, nonetheless, we are still getting them with those tariffs though.
yeah, but China did some retaliatory, tariffs, and we purchase a lot of shit from them. That's the price of cheap. That's your Walmart, a lot of shit at Targets, stuff like that. And believe me,
Mhm.
they'll feel that, and then you'll have the leftists crying down like, he's making stuff more expensive." But you know how it goes. I would rather pay a couple more dollars for American anyway. and my
Oh
driveway is
yeah.
full of American. You know what I'm saying? And there's always going to
Right.
be bad beforehand. And the egg shit's a joke. I mean that's like a fucking meme. Again because of the Biden admin and the fact that eggs went up hundreds of percent under that guy at one point, right? And they weren't saying shit at that point. So it's all clown world shit, man. And this right here, man, like this right here is proof pudding again that American media really is the enemy of the people.
Right. See, the Taliban's successful opium ban is bad for Afghans around and the world. The ban is not a counter narcotics victory and will have negative economic and humanitarian consequences, potentially leading to a refugee crisis. Right? Yeah. The infamous opium refugees. Yeah. Fucking ridiculous, man. Absolutely ridiculous. Uh, like I said, it's going to have economic effects, right? The world opium trade, man. It's a big money machine right there.
Absolutely, and it's going to be bad for everyone if they can't make heroines.
Let's see, the fiscal 2024 budget, right? Exactly. Like in fiscal year 2024 budget in brief, the United States Institute of Peace is seeking 56,300,000 for fiscal year 2024 to promote global peace and security in accordance with its congressional mandate to help prevent, mitigate, and resolve violent conflict in countries where U.S. strategic interests are at stake. They use a lot of these roundabout words, right? Promote global peace and security. That's what I do. That's what do you do for a living? I promote global peace and security. Like, how do you do that? Don't ask. Don't worry.
I
If you don't know, don't ask. Otherwise,
walk
we're
around
gonna have to
talking
kill
to
you.
people, spending monies, man.
Right. I'm out there promoting global peace and security in accordance with its congressional mandate. You guys are fucking
See,
ridiculous,
it's
man.
like
Just
economic
fucking titles,
security. If
titles.
take
That's
your
all it is.
money to a poor country and spend it, you see what I'm saying? That's like providing jobs. It gets circulated, man. I'm doing my part, bro.
Right? It's we're all in this together, man. We're all in this together. All right, we're back to square one. Right, we're all right. So there you go. An hour and 15 minutes of going through fucking USAID spending and why we need to get rid of that shit. So again, like I said, the lefties are having a complete meltdown over it. They're out there protesting in the streets right now because we can't topple governments around the world with LGBTQ propaganda. We can't also fucking promote LGBTQ men on men sexual activity in African countries like Uganda anymore. So all is lost, I guess. All hope is lost. America can never prosper again if we can't, promote butt sex around the world anymore. So, oh, there you go, guys. This is what you voted for, huh? You guys got what you voted for.
Yep, they got a handful of talking points, man. And at
I
this
hope
point,
you're
it's
happy.
yep, it's aid, it's Elon's, and of course the old trusty democracy, and that's where they're running with it, man. And they they keep throwing it, they keep trying other ones, technocracy, and they keep trying other little terms, but they don't stick, so they just keep fucking the trusties. Hatler's,
Right.
Elon's, democracy, and aid.
Right.
Now's the good one. U.S. aid. That's not fucking.
Right. Right. It's not the word aid, it's a freaking acronym, man. But yeah, freaking yep. It's funny. It's almost like they just find a new word, man. Like I just learned about this word, man. You guys are actually technocrats, bro. Ha. Next week they're gonna come out like you guys are just like, some Marxists, man. I heard about that. Like that's what you guys are like. Oh yeah, huh? Like
Yeah.
you guys are something, man. I don't know.
My favorite one. It's the
You guys are fucking
cacostocracy out here, bro.
human humanist. It's a kleptocratic oligarchic, right? Yeah, fucking. Good times, man. Good times. It's like I say, it's morning in America again. It used to be morning in America, but now it's good morning in America, you guys. Good times. Like I said, the lefties are melting down about it. That's how you know something good is happening here, right? So yeah, USAID officially fucking gone, and at the same time, another person that's officially gone, Joe Biden. So Donald Trump revoked his security clearance today, so he's not going to be able to get his liver spotted old hands on any more fucking classified documents at all, right? Um, yeah, so of course, don't know how much of the all that is consequentially in the long run, but nonetheless, still pretty funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty consequential considering that he just hired a talent agent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure he planned on, you know, talking to, news cycles and whatnot and leaking that
Oh
information,
yeah.
right? So now,
There goes
he's
your
not gonna
memoirs,
get
buddy.
yeah, he's not gonna get any kind of briefings. He's not gonna be, in the inner circles, in the anus no mores, dude. And, obviously that came with a handful of other ones. He banned John Brennan from fucking entering federal buildings at all. That's absolute, master troll level shit right there. Good to see, man. Little tit for tat. Because if you remember, Biden was running around, and doing the news cycle saying that, he should revoke Trump's security clearance as well. And you had Democrats trying to pass bills to cut off his Secret Service. I mean, you could just keep going, man.
Right. So they did remove Donald Trump's security clearance, didn't they?
No, no, I don't believe they actually did, but I think that they were going to try to let the lawfare play out. I think that Biden tried to make, or his team, not him, right? Dude can't change his fucking socks. But they tried to make it seem like, he wasn't it had any part in it. Remember he kept saying, I found out about this, when you did, like basically, or Cringe would say that shit. And Biden was supposed to be just an innocent bystander, dude.
Right. He knows nothing. He's just a simple old man with a bad memory. That's all.
Mhm. Right.
Can't blame him for nothing. Right. But well, at least he'll be able to keep his fucking simple old man with the fucking bad memories ass out of the United States records. So yeah, good riddance, man. Get rid of that motherfucking guy. Of course, a lot of
Yeah.
people are, they're pointing out like, oh, like, well, he didn't pardon himself. I mean, ultimately, it'd be rather inconsequential anyway. The dude's practically dead already. I mean, other than just being able to kind of smear him, and again, to bring more light to the situation of who Joe Biden was and what he did. I think that's probably going to be about the extent of it. So, I mean, whether he's pardoned or not, I don't think it necessarily matters. People like Fauci, on the other hand, that's a whole different story, as we talked about on previous episodes. Um, Russia was already saying, "Oh, fuck it, we'll prosecute the motherfucker." Like you have a blanket pardon in the United States, which, from what I've heard too, they're actually looking into the constitutionality of a blanket pardon for a crime that's not mentioned or anything, or never even
Yeah,
has even been brought up or anything. So I mean, it's really unprecedented. So
yeah, and you have
yeah, we'll see how that
17
ends up working out, man. Fucking, but yeah, Fauci, that's a good story.
17 state attorneys generals that have just come together to, basically form a challenge to the pardon as well. And of course, they're going to try to push it to the Supreme Court because they want to prosecute him apparently. So, we'll find out if that stands, just on merit alone with these attorneys generals coming together.
Right. I mean, you'd have to think that there'd have to be some sort of accountability for this. I mean, it's kind of something big to sweep under the rug there. It's. I mean, according to their figures, of course, as we know, they like to flip flop. Millions and millions of people died. It was a severe winter of illness and death, and we now know that it was funded by our government. It was funded again through USAID, through the World Health Organization, to the Wuhan labs, to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and it was a it was coordinated. It was not an accident. It was planned. right? And again, I can't say for sure whether it was an accident or not. Maybe it accidentally leaked out. Who knows? But either way, we know that the whole reason that this virus existed in the first place was because of that piece of shit right there, right? Again, the timing for it being released was ultimately convenient, which resulted in the 2020 election being universal mail-in voting, which was widely speculated was open for fraud, as even the Democrats said that that was a you know just asking for fraud in previous elections. But of course, whenever it benefits them, they change their tone. But yeah, just the letting Fauci just slide on this, I don't see that as a possibility. I mean, like I said, this was a global thing. He killed millions of people around the world. And yeah, I don't think that you could just, you're fine.
I think that if he's gone after, prosecuted, indicted, or whatever, I think that Cuomo and Gretchen Whitmer should be right there with him. You know what I mean? Any governors that ordered COVID patients to
Mhm.
be brought into nursing homes and whatnot should definitely face the same fate.
Right. Do you think that, like, of course, yeah, I agree with you. Just play devil's advocate, of course. Do you think they'd be able to use the argument that I don't I'm not a fucking doctor. Like I don't have a medical degree. Like I was advised by people that this is what I needed to do, and I'm just the person that fucking writes with the pen and says, "Okay, I approve it." You know? Do you think they'd be able to use that excuse? Whereas, of course, Fauci, no, he was the orchestrator. He was the puppet master. He was the person that fucking wrote all the shit out. Like he was the guy. You know? You
I
think
don't know if you could use
they'd be
it
able to use
like
that
for
argument at
gross
all there?
negligence for the simple fact that he'd be like, ultimately, you're cogent enough to sit here and tell me this, and at the time you were cogent enough to be put in charge. Ultimately, it was your decision, and you signed off on it, knowing, like you just said, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're not a doctor. You know what I'm saying? And why would you put the most, the people most at risk in danger like that because of someone else's advice rather than fucking plain logic. You know what I mean? And don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously people
Right.
were listening to Fauci, but because of Trump, like if you remember, I mean, Trump is the one that put him in, the head of the whole COVID situation. You know what I mean? And, I mean, he was already, a
Mhm.
bureaucrat there, obviously with the NHS or what have you. But, you know, I think that people should go down. I truly do. And do I think that's going to happen? No. I think there's a possibility that Gretchen Whitmer could very well be on a Democratic presidential ticket at some point. Like it wouldn't surprise me in the least because they're fucking seals. You could literally point out the fact that this person like Cuomo, what is he running for mayor or something in a town in New York, some shit. But people will vote for him, and the dude was a sexual predator. Hence the reason he's not governor. You know what I mean?
Right. Do you think with today's political climate, or possibly with the political climate going forward, that especially if as we're seeing, the news landscape in general is changing and shifting to where it people aren't getting their stuff from just the mainstream, fucking scripted, nightly news and shit anymore, where people are actually getting it from people that, dig deep and do research and, put together presentations and, do, their political shows and stuff like that. Do you think that there'd be more of a chance that those types of people that have these sorts of egregious records would be more, those egregious records be brought more to light in further coming elections to at least kind of maybe in a way prevent people from voting for the same absolute scumbags that completely fucked everybody over before? Because I mean, of course, we do have, or I mean, we have had stuff like that before, because of course it's not, as you just pointed out, I mean, people get reelected all the time after doing some horrible stuff. But again, like we say, we are in a shifting landscape. We are in the midst of a movement here in America. And I think with the further generations, as I've been saying all night, the people that are on the left side right now are either fucking 80 years old, don't know anything beyond MSNBC and CNN, or they're fucking like some 20 something year old that fucking their daddy left them when they were fucking 7, so they don't know right from wrong and shit like that, and they're just seeking approval and all that shit. um do you think that might play a role in the future?
Possibly, but that's a good idea as far as the Trump admin. I mean, don't release it all now. Save it because you got the midterms coming up. Yeah, so it could very well come in
Right.
handy as far as that's concerned.
Yep.
And yeah, that you could look at that kind of as underhanded, but bringing the truth to light to me is always good. And we've gone through this, like the shit you were just reading through. I mean, this started under Obama. I mean, I'm sure, that you said has been doing, so much, previously, but this was all kicked into hyperdrive in 2009 and forward, and so, I believe and I also think that there was Republican swampy ass motherfuckers like Lindsey Graham. Further in one of those slides, it even mentions him by name with, an amount of money and an organization that he represents. You know what I mean? And so there was Republicans involved, but with that changeover, I think it's primarily benefiting one side. That's why you only have one side melting down about the abolishment of the shit. So long answer longer. Like yeah, I think that could be used, and I think it could be used for good. Like you said, it would prevent the same scumbag wannabe overlords from regaining any sort of semblance of power, man.
Right. Yep. If I can, like we say, this is just the first couple of weeks too. We don't even
Right.
know what sort of revelations we're going to get over the next 4 years.
That's what I was
Like,
saying.
dude,
They're
it's going
just
to be
scratching the
nuts. Like,
surface.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, yep. It's like I say, we're in the midst of history right now. And, like I say, I like to point that out to people. Like people that aren't like in the know, people that aren't politically aware and shit like that. Like, do you guys realize that you're living through like something that's going to be in textbooks like in the future? Like, if they still have textbooks in the future, but you know what I'm saying though. Basically, it's going to be you know taught in fucking history classes all over the fucking world. Like, you guys realize that you're living through that right now. Like, it's this is a major event in human history, and especially in a political history.
Yeah, and if it stays on this trajectory, sure, you know what I'm saying. But we know, victors write history, right? And as they destroy history around you to make, every problem on the planet, white Christian, men's fucking, uh, fault is, that very well could be erased real quick or not even having the time to written down. It's got to be go beyond Trump. We've covered this several times. It was never about the single dude that was the avatar. He's doing a great job at the moment. Like we said, hit the ground running.
Mhm.
But ultimately, we got to keep planning for future aspects, because if it's the run of the mill flip flop like always, like, oh, there was a Republican, now we needed Democrats, is like, then everything is going to be fucked again. And we know the fact that Trump wasn't supposed to win in
Right.
2016. It was supposed to be Hillary. Everything that happened under Biden would have happened, and it would have been over an 8-year term, so it would have been much worse. And you've seen the destruction that was caused by this previous administration, just with some of the spending in the last month that you just named off. I mean, it was planned and intentional implosion.
Yeah, but on the bright side, at least USAID is gone.
The good shit, like you said earlier, they were out there literally taking the letters off the building earlier, man. That's fucking wonderful. That's good times.
All right. Another thing you like to see. Oh, actually, this one.
Excuse me?
Are you prepared to stand here all night if we decide to stay?
I guess, yeah.
All right, well, you just stay right there. You just stay and stand.
Why are you letting us go to that desk like we were able to do last year?
No, he's not a U.S. employee. I
This
don't
is
know
a
who he
public
is.
Did
institution.
Elon Musk hire you?
Who do you work for?
Who do you work for?
Are you not aware of
Who do you work for?
I'm a federal employee working for the
We
education.
trying to.
Excuse me.
Are you prepared to?
Who do you work for?
Not
Work for the
you.
United States, motherfucker. Who do you work
Right.
for? Right. The better question, Maxine Waters, who do you fucking work for? Right.
Right. And she's out there like, we pay for this. You don't pay for shit. We do it. You get paid off of our taxes, bitch.
Yep. And let's see, there's a couple more of these from my different angles and stuff, but yep. So they're they're basically blocking they're blocking the fucking Democrat radical fucking Marxists from getting back into the Department of Education, as of course it's being it's being USAID'd, right?
Right.
We'll see how it ends up turning out in the long run. Right. It's basically it's being audited. It's being looked into right now, and so yeah, they ain't getting in the building right now. But they're having a complete fucking meltdown about it, and they're apparently now they're in a standoff. And you're gonna stand out here all night? I guess. Good times. Let's check out this one real quick.
Know that we are here.
Max, ask the question again. That's the important.
Were you told, are you making this decision to stand in front of the store on your own behalf, on behalf of the Department of Education, or were you told to come out here and block members of Congress from going to the desk?
Doing my job.
So everybody's
What is that?
We're doing our jobs.
We're trying to save you.
It's a non-responsive.
Show them your ID. Were you told to stand here, or did you decide to stand here and block members of Congress from entering the Department of Education?
Access.
to federal buildings.
Use the security
rules.
We're allowed in there.
So a private security contractor
Do you know who
is
members of Congress
blocking
are?
members of
Sure, we're all
Congress.
members of Congress.
Maybe you doesn't understand. Do you
A private
understand who
security
members of Congress are?
is making the decision to block members of Congress from a public access entrance.
Smug piece of shit. We're members of the Congress. What does that mean?
I don't think he knows.
Representatives of
Who have
fucking
the authority,
state.
right?
You know what I mean? You don't represent me. Fuck out of here.
Right. Exactly. And fucking members of Congress. Like, who do you dude, wouldn't it be great if this guy was just a regular fucking citizen? If he was just like a regular Joe that just went and stood there, and then a crowd gathered around him, and he's just like, fuck it, let's play this out. Like,
Right.
he's fucking hilarious. And then fucking, of course, they try to call down to the government and shit like that, and they're just like, well, I guess good job. That'd be fucking hilarious.
Private security contractor to block members of Congress. That has been knighted and granted to you.
You have to at least let us go to the desk.
Yeah.
Too many goons out.
Just make the
Oh,
voice you
my.
want.
Look
Nothing's
at
gonna
that.
change.
Who told
They
you to
sending the
do
goons
this? Open the door.
I'll see you now.
So do you understand who members of Congress
I
are?
got it, yeah.
Well,
And you don't
who
care.
are we then?
I got the job right.
You don't care.
We have a job to do.
We're not dangerous people. We're not, I don't know, we're members security. There are no thieves and thugs out here. We're members of Congress. We're
It's a
parents,
gang of
we're
fucking
teachers.
thieves and thugs. And
Right.
I know a gang, dude.
There's our ID.
Yeah, I know a gang when I see one, man. I've done my research. Yeah, I read fucking Rothbard and fucking
Right.
I know a gang when I see one.
Right.
Yeah, but yeah, fucking yeah, like you were just pointing out, just the smugness of them, man. Just who we are. We members of Congress. Like, give a fuck. Like, you're ordered not to be in this building, so I'm gonna stand right here. I mean, it's what it is. Like, yeah, fucking
Take your ass down to the Capitol building. Get on, dude. Go do some work, man. They keep like, we're
Right.
trying to do our job. Your job is not to come down here and fucking act like idiots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's not your job. Your job's not to be irate morons, dude. Your job is to legislate, which you just do not do unless it's to the detriment of your fucking actual constituents.
You do got to admit, though, pretty sure that's what their constituents voted for them to do. Just go down and fucking be obnoxious. Just go out there and yell and scream. Like, yeah, you'll get my vote. Like,
Think about the sad state of your state politics. That if you're trying to elect a radical that'll go, scream their head off and try to be intimidating in any way, and you elect a fucking 80-year-old fucking black lady wearing James Brown wig, dude, and you know what I mean? Like, hey, get the fuck out of here, dude. I mean, and like you said, it'd be great if that was just some regular guy that was standing there, but it'd even be more so if it was some regular guy that wasn't trying to be, professional about it. Flat out
Right.
telling him, dude, I don't give a fuck, man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't not get.
it'd be funny if they hired Alex Stein to stand out there.
That would be
Fucking
great.
great,
Dude. That's
dude.
prime time right there, bro.
That fucking clip of the year, man. If that happened, that'd be fucking hilarious. Right. But of course, so the whole thing is the Department of Education, man. The Department of Education, in terms of the United States, aren't we like 46th or something like that around the world? But yet we spend the most out of any government in the world on our education. So there's
Yeah.
obviously something right there is not working, right? If you put gas into your car, but the car doesn't fucking go nowhere, there's obviously a fucking problem with the car, right? So we need to work on that. That's what's going on in there. They're diagnosing the fucking problems right now, rather than just fucking keep putting gas in it and keep trying it. They're actually looking into what the problems are, right? So the Department of Education has numerous problems, of course, down to the whole fucking shit, man. We read about too much stuff. I can't even remember what it was no more. Fucking the
I got one for you with that, dude. Perfect, man. They just posted today that 8th grade reading levels have plummeted to the lowest in the history of the report card system. Okay, and then you got some leftists in the comments there, and it's like, Trump wants to do away with the Department of Education. Like, that's the exact fucking reason we want to do
Right.
away with the fucking Department of Education. You know what I
Right.
mean?
These people, they're not critical thinkers, man. And the funny thing is, I remember when I was in school, critical thinking was a fucking subject. Like you used to have to go out and bring like news articles and shit like that, and you'd have to fucking write a report about them and shit. And, what's going on. You had to do all that type of stuff. And apparently, it didn't fucking work for this generation, man, because they don't get it. They cannot see past what is directly in front of their face. All they see is 8th grade reading level low, and he wants to eliminate Department of Education. How do you guys not see that as being wrong? Like, how the fuck do you not see that as being wrong? Like,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Man.
and then the same thing like you were saying about spending the most. Mike Benz posted recently a graph that showed when the department actually came into full function was 1980, and the you see the education level on a red line. I mean, just going straight down the graph, while costs have gone the exact opposite direction. And then you got like charter schools that spend like a quarter of the amount per student that a public school does, with way higher test scores. I mean,
Right.
it's pretty easy to deduce what the fucking problem is. You know what I mean? And
Right.
then you got unions, which to me, like, yeah, there was a place and time for at one point, but now they're the destroyer of business and society. You know what I mean? They're the absolute leech. They will shut your fucking business down, if not now, in the future, with unpaid liabilities. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
You also got to keep in mind that these are the same people that when their COVID vaccine didn't work and they still got COVID, they took another one. And then when that one didn't work and it gave them heart palpitations, they took another one. And then when that one didn't work and they started getting squinty vision, they took another one. And when that didn't work and their hair started falling out, they took another one. That's these people that we're talking about. So if not being able to see the forest for the trees, I mean that's that describes there, man. Like, these people are
yeah.
fucking dumb, dude. Like embarrassingly dumb. Like I feel embarrassed for them. I feel embarrassed to call them my fellow countrymen. Like it's bad.
Yeah, especially when it's someone spouting that kind of shit. You're just like, fuck, man. You know what I'm saying? It's so hard to just bite your tongue and try to
Right.
be cool, because it's pretty
Like
easy to get people fucking fired up.
right. Like I feel for the people that they had to take the COVID vaccine shot for their job or something like that. Like, of course, absolutely fucking wrong, and probably should have told the job to fuck off, to be honest with you. But nonetheless, I understand, the people's decision making process in that moment. But the people that, like I said, just fucking are still taking the fucking jab right now, and just like, how come it's not working? Like, there's no helping you. Like, there's no fucking
Yeah.
helping you. Like, you're gone. Like,
Again, those same people, that are melting down over federal employees being fired, and they were cheering when federal employees were being fired for refusing the vax. Man, I mean, fucking just absolute clowns.
right.
Bizarro shit. Like, they look in the mirror and see the opposite of what everyone else does.
Yep. Yep. So speaking of seeing the opposite of what everyone else does, what you think about Gaza, man?
I think it's a third world shithole. I mean, it's absolute rubble, and regardless of whatever side you feel or what have you. I mean, I personally don't give two fucks. We know that we've covered that a lot of times. I'm
Right.
not for either side, and I absolutely don't want to be involved. I mean, as far as the country's concerned, I don't want our tax dollars going over there. I surely don't want our people over there. We know that that area long before there was an Israel, it's been unstable, and Islamists, Muslims, whatever you want to phrase it as. They're not happy in Iraq. They're not happy, in
They're just
Gaza.
not
They're not.
happy.
Yeah, they're not happy in Egypt. No, they're happy in America. They're happy in England, shit like that. And then they want to protest and demand Sharia law to turn it into those places they weren't happy in. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? Like it's a vicious cycle, and you can't live with savages, and fuck the Middle Eastern Riviera. If it's
Oh,
if
shit.
it's 3D if it's 3D chess that I'm not picking up what he's putting down, some type of negotiation tool that he's going to end up getting Middle Eastern countries, or fuck, you can't say Israel because we fund them, man. So if he can put some deal together where it gets rebuilt, for people, and we don't have any part in it, fuck, great. But
Right.
as far as anything else is concerned, I voted for America first, and
Right.
regardless of your daughter fucking converting, like that's not America first, dog.
Right. This is obviously a different situation than say Greenland or say the Panama Canal, right? Obviously different situation. Those benefit us economically, those benefit those countries as well economically. And at the same time, in terms of like Greenland, for example, why are they owned by Europe when they are part of the continental North America, right? Doesn't
Right.
make
If
any
anything,
fucking
you'd think they would be part of Canada. You know what I
right.
mean?
Right. Again, Canada, fuck off. We're not annexing Canada. Canada's not going to be the 54th
Right.
state. We don't want them assholes, right? But the Panama Canal, then in that one, we built that thing, right? And at the same time, it's now being used against us. Like it's being used to stifle, Americans. So yeah, we're going to have to take that motherfucker back, all right? So, but Gaza, on the other hand, that is beats me, man. Fucking beats me. Again, I understand. I understand America has a nice little history over there in the Middle East. All right. We've been trying to fucking settle the Middle East, I guess, in some way, or bring stability to the Middle East for since like the fucking 40s, right? So and it hasn't worked if you guys haven't noticed at all. So I mean, ultimately,
Kind of made it worse, man.
right. Our thing is always been kind of like we should probably just back away from there a little bit, like it, fuck it. I mean, I understand that Israel is in a sea of people that want them dead, like literally surrounded on all sides by people that want them dead. Sorry, I mean it sucks, dude. It's not a not our rodeo, not our fucking not our circus, man. Um, Again, like I said, feel for you, sorry. I mean, apparently you guys aren't doing too fucking bad. Apparently you guys don't need us that fucking bad, maybe our funding, which again, sorry, I mean, that's the way that it is, but yeah, you guys, you'll be all right. Right. I'm pretty sure things will probably stabilize out just a wee bit more without our involvement there. But in terms of Gaza, right? So Gaza is this tiny little strip. It's a tiny little fucking thing, right? I mean,
But it's like 20 miles or some shit of like Mediterranean Sea, bro.
right.
It really is prime real estate if it wasn't fucking, scravenged third world.
Yeah, but I mean, nonetheless, dude, like, what would we do with it? Would we turn it into a fucking base? Would we turn it into a fucking
Fucking
hotel? Like,
Trump Mahal there, bro. What the fuck is
right, and
you know
then
what I mean? The Trump Taj Mahal and golf course, bro.
in which case, does that benefit us at all? Again, like you say, America first. Like, what does that have to do with America first? Like in any way. Like I say, like I said, I not all like fucking, oh no, we shouldn't do nothing, abroad and shit like that. Not trying to say anything like that. Like I already said, Greenland, Panama, and I understand those, and I'm on board with it, right? But again, this seems like an ideological move, or perhaps it's a loyalty move, or perhaps it's I just don't know. You know, I
Yeah,
don't see
you
the
hope a lot of
advantage.
it is you hope a lot of it's just hyperbole, right? It's fucking Trump
Right,
bravado, and or like I said, a deep fucking negotiation tool where it's putting pressure elsewhere because the Middle Eastern countries don't want us there as much as we shouldn't be there. You know what I mean? They fucking hate us for the most part. Like you said, they're more than willing to take our loot. They've loved doing business with us as far as petrol's concerned, but we've destabilized a lot of the areas, man. And as far as Israel goes, dude, they again the scream that it's our greatest allies. I mean, they keep boasting that they're the country with the most Nobel prizes. Put those Nobel winning minds to work for something other than subverting other fucking countries, man. You know what I mean? And I
right,
don't dig the dual loyalty, and hopefully a lot of that dies off with the current dinosaur generation that's primarily in power. Those beliefs that we have to fucking break our bank to help them or some shit, where that shouldn't be the case regardless of who it is. The founding of this country was what? It was trade with all, fucking political entanglements with none. And so yeah, you can do things abroad, things that are fruitful for your country, but other than that, fuck off and die, man. Trying to do some shit up here.
right. How much of it do you think was Donald Trump's patented, fucking towering over people, basically? Because of course, it wasn't just that he was talking to the Islamic community about, like, oh, we're gonna
He's
annex
talking to
Gaza.
BB, dude.
He's standing right next to fucking
Yeah.
Netanyahu.
And you could tell by his face that he didn't
He
know
was
Trump was going to
uncomfortable.
say that.
He was
Yeah.
very uncomfortable. He was, huh?
Right. What
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck,
And
dude?
then after
Making
that,
weird
we're
faces and shit.
right. And then we're gonna make Israel the 57th state. Like, it's like- yeah. How much of it do you think was that too? I mean, that's, again, that is a good possibility. That's within the Trump style. So I would imagine that it would be something they do. I mean, maybe it's just to try and uh, crack the whip, abroad, because of course we see that that's what he's did, or what he's doing with Ukraine, right? So of course, Ukraine, you go and pay us back that fucking money, and how we're going to do it is we're going to go over there and we're going to fucking strip mine your country, and we're going to get all the minerals out of there. Sound good? I don't give a shit if you don't like it. Either way, that's what's going to happen. So, like, maybe it's kind of something like that. Like, oh, we've been sending you a whole lot of fucking money. You got something to say? Like, and maybe it's something kind of like that.
Right. It's not just that. It's also the fact that there's a lot of Israeli and Jewish based NGOs and whatnot that have helped orchestrate the immigration fucking invasion. I mean, we know Mayorkas came from Hayas. Hayas is a Jewish organization that's all about relocating refugees and encouraging immigration. And being a foreigner as well. And that's their key. And their main thing is always we have to keep our borders closed, otherwise we'll get diluted and end up losing our country. But in the meantime, they're doing that shit. That could be part of the negotiation, dude. I'm gonna come fucking have Americans or whatever invade your shit, dude. You better start cutting that off. And like you said, it could be, but we could be totally off base. I mean, he could be fucking serious, man. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Like, that's part of the appeal to the dude, and the fear that he puts in other leaders is you don't know if he's fucking being real or not, dude. Like he
Right.
says, he's just gonna blow your shit up. He could be fucking with you, or there could be missiles incoming right now, dude. You know what I mean?
Right, man. Fucking don't answer your pager, man. But yeah, man. I mean, like I said, wouldn't be beyond Donald Trump's character to do something like that. And in which case, I mean, like I said, it's the dude's a fucking strategic mastermind, in terms of a geopolitical diplomacy. So it does seem like a bit of a possibility. But in terms of fucking Trump Tower Gaza, if that's the case, man, yeah, I ain't feeling that too much, man. I'm probably gonna have to be a little bit critical about that.
I don't believe that's really the case. I mean, Trump's getting
Yeah,
too old. Maybe in the future with one of the June bugs or something. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, like I said, ultimately, I think Bongino puts it best when he describes Trump, who he knows on a personal level, obviously, as a spreadsheet guy. That he looks as everything as a spreadsheet, profit versus loss, or potential, or what have you. And that could very well be it. Not necessarily personal. Like I'm not like you just said. I'm not talking about the Trump fucking Mahal on the Gaza fucking Riviera or whatever. I mean something that would be fruitful as far as possibly trade or what have you,
Right.
contracts.
So I was fucking had a weird noise going on, man. I was trying to figure out what the fuck it was.
All good, all good. Yeah, but I don't like that idea, man. Let's stay the fuck away.
Right.
America first. We got a lot of rebuilding to do, a lot of recouping to do, a lot of fucking retraction of the money supply, which now we know it's ran even deeper. 40% of all the shit in circulation was printed during Biden's administration. So it went from the COVID printing on and just got worse, man.
Right.
Obviously Trump being a part of that with the COVID shit, but again, that was
At
the
least
Wuhan Red Death.
in terms of results on fucking cutting spending and shit like that shouldn't be too hard to achieve. Like, say, all right,
I mean,
guys,
dude,
we don't spend 10 trillion a year anymore. I did it.
right. And
Right.
people are like, these fucking Hatlers, burn the joint down. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's mostly peaceful's right now.
Right. Fucking shit. What was it? Somewhere in my phone, but I fucking had Chat GPT do the math. Fucking based in 2024, we spent fucking, I think it was like $18 million a minute, something like that. Like,
Ridiculous. I know what did Rand Paul say? We're borrowing $1 trillion every fucking, what was it, 90 days or some shit. I mean, absolutely ridiculous. Like you were saying earlier, it's pure debt spending. I mean, when you're 36 trillion in debt, it's going to get to the point where you can't even pay the fucking interest payments,
right.
let alone cover services. And these people melting down like it's going to cut this and that. Like it's not going to be there. Like what
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, wouldn't you rather be able to, have your own money and put your shit away and build something for yourself rather than premise your future on some shit that people have been telling you for fucking decades is not going to be there? You know what I
Yep.
mean? Like they're robbing the fuck out of you, man. Wake up. Why are you
Right.
so stupid?
And then they're telling you it's for your own good, and it's actually your fault. And actually, as a matter of fact, you're not paying enough.
And you're an absolute fascist Hatlers if you don't agree.
Right. Yeah, like I say, this is the epitome of evil. This at least this the way that our government's been over the past several decades. It's that's pretty fucking evil shit, man.
Absolutely, man. And we know with the funding of all the censorship and the media stuff, it stems again from the Obamas. I mean, don't get me wrong, the CIA has been doing this shit, right? Operation Mockingbird, that's been an ongoing thing. And it just unleashed on the American people with Obama. And they literally did the old regime change in front of you. I mean, that's we already know the whole 51 intel leaders and all. It's all fucking shenanigans. Like you were fact, and the cognitive dissonance is too deep. That's why the people you see melting down in the videos, that's obviously political theater. But the ones you see like in the videos, like on TikTok or something, that's severe cognitive dissonance, man.
Yep, fucking brainwashing, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mass psychosis.
exactly. Yeah, you're not allowed to say that anymore, man.
Right, get you banned from the juices.
Mass formation psychosis, you're gone, buddy. Yeah.
He's been listening to Robert Malone. Ban the channel.
Right. Get him gone, guys. Disinformation. Millions and millions dead, severe mental illness and death. Yeah, totally fucked up. Severe winter of illness and death.
You shouldn't wear a mask. I don't think it's early enough. We need to get those masks to, the older people, the medical people. Actually, you should wear a mask, but, it's not that serious.
Probably wear two.
Yeah, really. I mean, a cloth with like an N95. That would, that'll really help. Don't even go outside. You know what I'm saying? Don't have holidays. Don't, you know what I'm saying?
Right. Actually, we retract all of that. Actually, we changed our mind. Everything's fine now.
Right. Yeah, and that was the Trump effect, right? Trump was
Right.
like, "Dude, it's some serious shit," and they're like, "That's xenophobic. You come to Chinatown and celebrate fucking Chinese New Year, man." You know what I mean? And then they're like, and then he's like, "Oh, we got it. We're gonna have it under control." Yada, and they're like, "No, everyone's gonna die." You know what I mean? Don't go to your grandma's. Let's put fucking COVID patients in nursing homes and we'll wipe out fucking tons of seniors and then we can claim this massive death toll, man. It'll really kick the fear in, dude, and it'll wipe out some of those liabilities as far as the social security need goes, dude.
Right. It's a win-win-win for everybody, man.
You're right. And don't worry, man. Right after that happens, we'll open the border, we'll let them pour through, and they'll refill the coffers of Social Security, even though the mass majority of them are going to make below minimum wage, and the other half's not going to pay taxes.
Right. Yep. Yep. Fucking and then we'll just burn it all down, fucking build low income housing, and then start all over again with us at the top. Right. So you want to talk about motherfucking California real quick while I go ahead and rip this here dab. California
Yeah.
style.
So, I'm sure plenty of you through the fires heard all the theories, the 15-minute, the Agenda 2030, that they were going to take the land from the people. They weren't going to be able to return. And if they were, it was going to be a ton of red tape. It was going to hold them up for many months, if not years, before they could get rebuilt. You heard Karen Bass lie directly, to Trump, to the people. Like, no, that's wrong. They can go get their stuff. And then she immediately, publicly retracted that shit, as far as the city's concerned. And lo and behold, they've been, Gavin Newsom coming out and telling now the residents, like, you're not going to be able to just rebuild. We got to think about climate changes, right? That's what he says, during the interviews and whatnot. But then, during, the journalistic aspect where they've dug a little deeper into it, it also has to include a level of so many affordable housing. And then the people that live there, they're not even going to be able to live there anymore because they're going to be above the income threshold. So they're not going to qualify to live in that space. I mean, these people are going to end up losing their shit. So as you had, the leftists or mainstream talking heads, like even, naming Alex Jones, it's all conspiracies. The right wing theories it's coming to fruition as usual. Oh, fucking Jones was right. Dude told you as soon as this happened that was what was going to go down, and here we are, man. It's what has it been? Fucking a month and a half,
Right.
something like that.
Right. I'm pretty sure there's still embers burning somewhere. Like,
There's fires. They keep breaking out. I mean, and obviously, I'm sure, just like everyone, you've seen the films where there's not only the local news reporting on it, but also people recording the shit on their cell phones and stuff, where people are setting fires and not only setting them but being arrested for setting them, and they'll keep screaming climbs. It was the climbs that changes.
right. Yep. Fucking Rick, it's the climate change. That's the reason there's so much dry brush out there. Like, no, it's because you guys are fucking lazy and don't want to clean shit
Yeah,
up.
that's
And you
called
guys
forest mismanagement.
right. All in the names of climate change. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that it's absolutely the majority of these like environmental stuff that they do to preserve and shit like that, it really destroys, right? So of course, working within the pest industry, one thing that I noticed, man, like a lot of these like historic buildings in like the downtown areas, a lot of these like really older buildings and shit like that, like you cannot treat them. You cannot treat them like in any way that is meaningful and effective that's going to help preserve them from being completely destroyed by things like pests, termites, all that type of stuff. You actually cannot fucking treat them, and it's based off of city ordinances and shit like that. So ultimately these places are being destroyed like slowly, just because we can't fucking help them because our hands are tied legally. Like we can't do shit to help protect any of these buildings, and it's all in the name of preserving these buildings. Like it doesn't make any fucking sense at all, dude.
Yeah, the EP regulations, just like everything, right? Good intentions, man, right? And anytime the government comes in and repeated, ad nauseum on here and says we're going to do this, the opposite happens every fucking time. And like California, like you just said, the underbrush and whatnot. I mean, it's there because they refuse to do anything because the California fucking speckled toad lays its eggs down in there, and we
Right.
can't disperse them. Just some asinine shit like that. Obviously, again, good intentions, but you're gonna destroy fucking society to do it. You know what I mean? You gotta
And the
weigh
speckled
what's
fucking footed toad too. Like, that
yeah,
motherfucker burnt to a
exactly.
crisp too. Like,
Yeah, all of them. You
right?
know what I'm saying? Like,
What did you do? What did you really preserve, man? Like, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
It's
then
really
then
just
then the waterways that we gotta save the fucking smelt. Well, now that's, I'm sure just buried in soot and absolutely disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
right.
turning fucking acidic. Actually, all the smelt are dead now.
Yeah.
And
Yep. As I forgot what it was. I don't know the actual details, but I heard there was something. So it's something to do with the water exchange right there. Like it's just brackish enough, but apparently with all these fires and shit like that, it actually kind of fucked it up. So now the rest of the water is much more brackish because much more the ocean water went back into uh the river area, and apparently it ended up fucking dying anyway because now it can't survive in that environment. Like, like I said, everything is that they do is
have a
fucking
beautiful time.
dumb. Just dumb, man.
Right.
Yep. And of course, we know that. Yeah, we. I mean, like I say, there's different motivations depending on where you are within the leftist ladder, right? If you're at the fucking bottom, you're actually one of those people that are crying over a tiny fucking fish or a fucking a piece of bacteria on a fucking tree stump or something like that. You're actually that person crying over that thing and hoping that you could sacrifice several hundred people in order to uh save that one fish, right? Or a piece of bacteria or whatever, right? And then all the way more at the top, you got your Gavin Newsoms and shit like that, where it's like, oh, okay, well, I will go ahead and appease these people. They will continue voting for me, and then ultimately the end result is going to be that this place is going to catch fire. Like there's anybody with eyeballs could see that, right? And so ultimately these places are going to catch fire. At which point we have these other regulations in place to where we could tell them, oh, it's for safety concerns, you're not allowed to go back in there, and we'll make sure that we hold them out long enough to where they're not able to afford to rebuild, and in which case we'll swoop in and fucking rebuild. And low income housing, everybody's under, like that's what the higher fucking rungs of the leftist ladder are thinking. So it's a spectrum, as the left likes to say. All right. uh so yeah, it's the spectrum of leftism, I guess.
Yeah, and then how the fuck do you build for climbs? Like, I mean, you know what I mean? They're gonna have mud huts lined up down the beach. I mean, you know what I mean? Where are you gonna go
Right.
with that, bro? Like,
Man, how does that even work, man?
yeah, you
Now we're
can't
gonna,
use wood because you're chopping down the trees, and you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't use steel because that's it's got to be either shipped or manufactured, which is gonna pollute,
fucking
and then
right. Yeah, fucking sent over on ships that they pollute the air and stuff over the oceans, all that,
right. What's building for climate, man? I don't understand. What are they gonna put in fucking solar farms on the beach? Like, fuck, which way are they gonna go? What do you think, man?
Shit, I don't know. Whatever fuck they get to spend more money on, whatever fucking they get to request more federal funding from. I don't think they actually go into it with a plan. Like I think they go into it with buzzwords, and then they just fill it. They kind of like ad lib with where the money's going to go. With they just have these buzzwords, and then you just fucking fill in the buzzword wherever you want.
Yeah, and just like their high-speed rail. I mean, that was carried from Jerry Brown on to fucking Gavin Newsom, and he's continued with the scam. What is it? Billions of dollars spent, or like a billion, I think, at this point. But they're way fucking past their budget and running out of money, and it's basically like a mile of track that goes nowhere. You know what I mean? And they've been talking about the shit for like 8, 9 years. Like, we're building this high speed rails. We just
Right.
gotta hire your taxes again.
Right. Just think about it, man. Before you know it, that's gonna be you, man. It's gonna
Hey,
be you. Just
You're
vote
like, well,
yes on this
why does
proposition.
China have fucking 8 of them or some shit? You know what I mean? Japan has fucking 4 of them. Like,
Oh,
I mean, what the fuck, man?
that's really. I'm really glad you asked. That we actually designed those, right? So we actually put together a think tank, and we designed all of those. We sent over all the materials, and fucking we went over and we sent people over to assemble them ourselves. And it's all for research purposes, so that way we know how to do it properly at our place. And now we've done all the
You
research.
did the test run in Japan, man, and you
Right,
used your
right.
money to pay for it.
Right. Yeah. See, glad you asked that question. Thank you. Yeah, fucking welcome to California, man. It's fucking bleeding over into Arizona day by day.
Yep, rough times, and it's only going to get worse. There's going to be a whole lot of fire refugees right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's for sure, man. But I don't know. There's no but to it. Fuck.
Right.
Right. But yeah, man, that's how California's going. At least they'll have a bunch of shelters for the homeless, and of course they can't afford it, but they'll still be homeless. But there will be buildings where hypothetically homeless people could live one day and not be homeless. All right, so
Right. Mud huts on the beach, man.
it's double plus good, you guys. All right, don't question it.
Yep, they're definitely upping your ration of chocolate.
Right. Friggin' nuts, man, nuts. But I mean, like I said, I'm still ever the optimistic, man. I see the tide rolling back, man. I see the fucking dawn breaking. I see people coming around, dude. I see more people coming around to our side every single day by day. Fucking over the past couple of years that we've been doing this, I've been watching just more and more people fucking see the light, come to the step away from the dark side. I've been. So like I say, it builds hope, it builds hope. And then, like I say, as long as the Democrats just stay the course with fucking coming out and that's our platform, like we're golden, dude. It's an entire generation that will be restoring American values.
And just keep repeating all over the inner zones, man. Share the videos, repeat it, dude. We don't live in a democracy. They hate that.
Right.
I mean,
yep. And quote, repeat the line.
Right. No, democracies.
Right. But all right, man. Anything else you want to throw in before we wrap on up? Get out of here.
That's about it, dude. We got downs.
Yeah. Good show. We appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like this video, share this video out with your friends. We thank you guys for chatting us up in the comments. We appreciate you for stopping by. Anything else you guys want to say to us, go ahead and let us know in the comments. Let us know if you guys think we're fucking idiots, if you guys think that we did a good show, or if you guys think that we're what is it, Russian paid propagandists. We used to get that one quite a bit for a little while for some reason. I don't fucking know why, but let us know, man. We miss those comments sometimes. Those are mostly bitch shoot though.
Yeah, man. Hit us up, Nate, all over the inner zones, man. Have a good times and watch the show.
All right, links in the description. Have a beautiful time.